Honestly, I cannot wait until I get my own place. The biggest reason why I actually would like to have my own place sooner rather than later is that, like, I just want to have quiet. I want to have a place where I can just space out and be on my own and not have to be confined to other people, confined to the environment that's around me, because usually the environment that's around me is very loud, and I'd like to have a space where I can be quiet when I need to be quiet. I have a lot going on, like I have a ton of things going on. It becomes very, very hard to try and process things, like whether I'm working, whether I'm like trying to research some stuff. It's hard to try and focus on reading something and you end up reading the same line or the same page over and over and over again. It's also very distracting. I would like to have a place where if I feel like I'm ready to actually like start working, not have any distractions. At some point I'm going to have to decide if I want to have my own place or my own office. So that would have to depend on, where my own place is. If it's where I have noisy neighbors, obviously I would opt for an office instead. I've done the whole sharing an apartment with friends thing. It's not great for my mental health. We each have different lives and at some point they clash. It's the same thing with living at home. We have different lives and sometimes they clash. There are decisions that other people make that you wouldn't necessarily make. It feels kind of like awkward to tell people not to behave a certain way in their own home. So there are a lot of limitations to living with other people or living in someone else's house. It's probably one of the worst things ever. But still have to kind of like function, still have to kind of like make the most of the situation. Honestly, like my main focus is just kind of like pushing all of the projects that I have currently, pushing as much as I can, because right now I'm not necessarily paying rent and I am able to funnel a lot of my income into like the projects that I actually want to be involved in, obviously in the hope that they're going to bring in a proper return for me. For now, it's kind of like just making the most of a not so great situation. I know that this is not the full story. I'm not always going to be in the same place. And at some point, I am going to have my own place where I can actually have the space to relax after a long day of work. Or if I don't feel like waking up very early that morning, just have like a nice quiet morning where there's not too much riffraff going on and I can sleep in and, that kind of thing, where I know that I'm not going to be disturbed, where I know that if I stop working, no one's going to distract me and I'll be able to focus and that kind of thing. So that's the biggest reason. And another reason is being able to come and go without having to report myself like to anyone, where I don't have to like give a full report of where I'm going or when I'm coming back or what I'm going to do when I get there. I want to be able to just go and then come back and then do whatever I want to do. So it's just like all of those things, they kind of like come together and it becomes very uncomfortable on some days. But I mean, it's nice to have family around, it's nice to have people around every now and again, but not all the time. Like I'm at the point in my life right now where I feel like I value my space and I value my peace a lot more, and I don't get to enjoy the level of space and peace as much because of my environment.